Hello, dudes. How are you? My name is Yada Satulusa. I'm working as a consultant, trainer, and researcher. I'm also working as, I can say, YouTuber. Of course, I'm preparing YouTube videos and uploading in issues such as research, consultancy, training, education, among many others. In this video package, I'm presenting for you about training needs certification and the training need curriculum development for overseas migrant domestic workers, taking Ethiopia in focus. I have already developed and uploaded about two videos on these issues. This one is the third one. So in order you to get full-fledged knowledge about the subject or the subject matter that is about developing training needs identification and curriculum or training materials for migrant domestic workers, you should cover all the 5 videos. That's what I suggest for you. As I've already said, this is the third video. This is a continuation of the first and second one. In the first video, I presented about a kind of introduction about need certifications for migrant domestic workers. In the second, about training needs identification or issues should be to be considered in order to as a pre-departure training curriculum. That means the kind of curriculum that should be prepared for those who aspire to go abroad. In this one, I'm going to present about a new departure training program, or what the content should be included in the curriculum for migrant domestic workers. So I would like you to stay, I would like to invite you to stay with me together. Now let me go to the contents of this video in detail. Now, in order you to develop curriculum on training materials for migrant domestic workers is to follow cost-effective pre-departure training, to follow cost-effective orientation, and also registration process to develop a new departure training curriculum. It should be cost effective, it should be efficient, it should be effective. Such kind of curriculum should be developed. Having these seats, another issue that to be considered when we develop a training material for domestic workers who want to go abroad and work as domestic workers should select language, say it might be English or the mother tongue. So the curriculum should be developed in English as well as the mother tongue. The mother tongue, when you say, the reason why curriculum are developed and training materials are developed in the mother tongue or vernacular is to make the candidate more understandable. That means they can understand more when they use their own language. Of course, it's better also to develop it into English, as English is our most global language or worldwide language. When you say mother tongue, for example, when we take Ethiopia, it might be Amharic, it might be Afaro, it might be Tigrinya, it might be whatever the kind of language that the candidates use it properly. Another issue to be considered when we talk about curriculum development or training material development for migrant workers or domestic workers who aspire to go abroad is about arrival and departure procedures for easy and safe travel. It means most of the people who go abroad, especially the females, the male as well for that matter, when they want, most of them are new for departure to go abroad. As you know, most Ethiopians, we can say, they have less experience to go abroad, leave alone those people who go abroad to Arab countries. Even most intellectuals in Ethiopian case, few of them go the chance to go abroad, as you know. So about abroad, going abroad, should be learned. They have to be taught about arrival, about departure, and the procedure, so that the come across isn't the safe travel. So this should be considered. This should be considered. The reason why I give emphasis here is most of the time, from my experience, the trainers could not see the candidate's interest, the candidate needs, because most of them who teach might consider those people are equivalent to themselves. That is a great mistake. It should be adapted towards their needs, towards their capability. Their knowledge skills should be enhanced systematically. Another issue to be considered when we develop training materials for those who aspire to go abroad or migrate to work as domestic workers is considering the geography, culture, language, lifestyle, the economic, social, and the political context of the destination countries. The destination countries, when you say, for instance, when you take Ethiopian country, Ethiopia, most of our female citizens, our sisters, go abroad to Arab countries. So, what is the culture of Arab countries? What is the geography? What about the climate, weather, the lifestyle, the religion, the type of language they speak, they're expected to speak there? What about the political context there? Norm, value, all this should be considered or should be inculcated in the training materials as contents. This should not be overlooked, as we see, or as we experience from the training institutions that are available here in our country. Another issue to be considered is when we develop training materials as a content is to consider labor, immigration laws, and traffic rules of the destination countries. All should be known here. One thing that should be known or taken into consideration or get emphasis is these people who go abroad have no experience living abroad or going abroad, or they have very less experience, leave alone abroad. Even most of them have come from rural parts of the country. Say, when you take Ethiopia, from the rural part of the country. So the training that should be given to them should be in depth. In fact, it is true that one institution cannot cover all the requirements here in the country, in the inland. When they go there, there are other experiences that take there. However, they should be competent enough here so that they can cope up with the challenges that might encounter them there abroad. Another issue to be considered is working conditions and the realities of migrant domestic workers in receiving countries to have knowledge of costs, benefits, and risks associated with domestic work. Yeah, there are risks, assumptions, unexpected risks there. Those risks should be identified and should be solved here. Solved when you say those risks should be told or be taught or for the candidates. The candidates should learn the risk that might occur or take place or encounter there, so that they have to know also the ways they mitigate those risks. This is a very important part. So they have to have the knowledge of costs as well. Cost of saying some goods which are expensive here might be cheap there. There are some things that are cheaper here when compared with other countries, and also how to exchange things, how to buy things. Anyways, this end is like. By the way, when we talk about these things, the trainer should be also the one who is experienced, the one who might have got the experience to live abroad, together with those adept trainers who are highly qualified. because I've emphasized on this because in our country in Ethiopia, when you see most of the trainers are by themselves are inexperienced, when they are less experienced, I mean. So that is a big problem. That's why when they go abroad, that is the big challenge encounter our citizens. It should be considered, especially the government should take this into emphasize. Well, another issue that should be considered when we talk about training development for migrant or domestic workers, specifically for women, is to know about human and labor rights of migrant domestic workers. What are what are the rights they have? What are the obligations they have to discharge? That should be known clearly, and that should be taught all these things. So, in order for the candidate to be taught, it should be also inculcated, or it should be incorporated into the curriculum. Another is vocational skill training. Vocational skills training, when you say, for instance, when you go there, they might work as domestic worker. When you say there are workers that they do, for instance, they might cook food, prepare food, they might look after, or take care of children, or wash clothes, something like that. So, depending on the needs, the skill needed by destination countries, vocational skill training should be given to them. Not only hard skills, but also soft skills, such as life skills. For instance, communication skills or something like that. There are other issues. We will see this in the next video, actually, I think. Anyways, all this should be put into consideration, should be included into the curriculum. Another issue is the curriculum should incorporate occupational safety and health. This is very important and critical, by the way. Occupational health safety, when you say. When it goes there, there are risks that might encounter them. So they have to be safe. Our citizens should be safe abroad. It should be thought about here. This should be taken into considerations. Because experience shows that because of this, most of our citizens, when they go abroad, they encountered challenges, even fatal problems. So, in order them to be saved from such from being victimized, we can mitigate them by training them. In order to train them, the curriculum should incorporate these things. Not only incorporating these contents, but also it should be checked and monitored if really the training is provided appropriately. Anyways, this occupational safety and health conditions should be incorporated there, not only for curriculum for overseas migrants, but also for any kind of trainings. This occupational safety and health should be inculcated. Another is basic language education. Basic language education means, for instance, when we take Ethiopia, they might go, most of them go to abroad to Arab countries. So Arab language is very important. I'm not saying they have to know as vernacular, or I'm not saying that they have to know that language in depth, but I think basic language. Basic language is the language that helps them to communicate with their employer. For instance, utensils, name of utensils, or some communication skills such as, anyways, I can't say here or there because there are professionals on that. Anyways, within a limited time, there might be some kind of words and vocabularies they have to know, so that when it goes there, at least they can communicate with them. Of course, when they go there, immediately when they stay there, most of our Ethiopians are adept in order to understand the language easily. That's what we see from the experience. Anyways, basic language, special Arab language, is very important here before the departure to learn. Another issue is that should be considered is employment contract. Yeah, employment contract is very important because it should be legal. There are illegal issues, illegal activities in Ethiopia, especially regarding about these overseas or migrant domestic workers. So there are illegal brokers, whatsoever they are called. Anyways, so the government should intervene in this aspect and work on this. So employment contract should be legal. There should be also rights and responsibilities of migrant domestic workers. When the rights should be, I don't know, what can I say? The rights should be kept. The rights should be maintained. This is very important. The rights should not be violated. That is the very important part that we work here before they depart. Another issue to be considered when we talk about training or make ready the citizens for work as migrant workers is to teach them about financial literacy. Yeah, financial literacy is very important, and about managing earnings, banking and remittances, because when they go there, this is a big problem they face. They have to know how to calculate simple arithmetic. They have to know how to jot down or write down some notes and the like. So they have to manage their money. They have to know how to use bank. When you say banking, in Ethiopia, and banking of the destination country, and also about remittances, because most of them, from our experience, what you see is most of them send money here. Oh, one is the problems, that the challenges, they send money for non-appropriate people. Some of people, of course, some of women, especially women, our citizens, women, sisters, when they go abroad, they work and they earn money and they send it to non-appropriate people. Of course, it might be even relatives. So when they come here, most of them lose their money. They can't get their money. So such kind of orientation they should know here. So what I suggest is they have to have their banking system. It's better if they put their money in the name of their account. There's a big problem that most, when with the returning people, most of the time get frustrated when they get back home. So this should be considered by the government. Another issue is practical tips on communication. Communication, how to communicate with Arab people, for instance. So they have to know their culture. The ways they experience it, communicating in the country might not work there. So they have to know the way to communicate properly based on the culture of the destination countries. Another issue is in the curriculum or the training materials, there should be kind of advice on how to cope with the difficulties of living and working overseas. Yeah, to go abroad by itself is a problem or a challenge. To live there by itself is a challenge. By the way, live and learn to work abroad, even in the inland country, where people, especially people who live in rural, when they come to town, the gay problem. It is very difficult to them to cope with these challenges. So they have to be trained, they have to be oriented about these issues before their departure. So it should be kind of advice. What should do? For example, our sisters should be taught how they become safe, say, from being abused, maybe by a foreigner, even by citizens who are Ethiopian citizens who live abroad. Because abuser should not necessarily be abroad, people who live abroad, or foreigner, even the Ethiopians by themselves, illegal brokers and others also most of the time violate and abuse them. So they have to know, be oriented here before they get departure. Another issue is we will cover it in the 4th chapter of the 5. As I've told you, there are 5 videos. The 4th one is about training curriculum for those who go abroad for domestic workers. That means it's a continuation of this. We didn't complete in these videos. There are other issues that should be considered as well. So we will have another 2 videos left. I would like you to stay with me in another video. We'll see you in another video. Till then, bye bye. One thing I want to say is, if you want to get my video reach you easily, please subscribe and also share my video to others so that others will listen to this and experience it. One thing is, by the way, this in English language. I have also prepared in Amharic language as well, so that you Ethiopian especially can get these videos which are already prepared by Amharic and join it and make use of it. Thank you very much. See you in the fourth and the fifth videos of lessons on this subject matter. Bye bye till then.